Is your information safe today? We know that it wasn't safe on October 1st, and we can't get answers for what has and hasn't been fixed.
How do you know that it wasn't safe on October 1st? And I've read, of course, I've read your letter that you sent today to HHS Sebelius Secretary.
Well, and I've asked for a meeting with her. Hopefully she'll agree tomorrow. This is one of the challenges. The MITRE report and other reports we're now gleaning let them know that on October 1st they weren't ready. And that's the challenge is, why did they go forward knowing they weren't ready? Why is it that they considered these risks reasonable with your information?
All right, the MITRE report, what is that for the viewers?
Well, MITRE was a company that was hired to do assessments of security risk on these sites, and they found endless security risk.
Prior to October 1st, launch.
Prior to October 1st. And although their report wasn't issued until early October, and it took us until last Friday.
Well, they could have made a phone call and said, just preliminarily, before we launch this website, how does it look? Is it secure? And why did they do it so late that they didn't have it before October 1st? That was stupid.
Well, the beauty is that we now have documents showing that in September, the outcome of that report was known. It was actually published 11 days later, and it took until last Friday with a subpoena over the objections, over the obstruction of Health and Human Services, where CMS actually wrote and told vendors not to turn over this information pursuant to our subpoena in order to keep us from finding out just how bad it was in the weeks leading up to October 1st.
So what happens? Is anyone held accountable in any way?
No.
Not at all.
You know, even in Dallas, where I was yesterday, and even when you had people telling people to lie on their applications so they could get your tax dollars funding their health care, only one of the two was fired for doing it.
And this is, I think you have a video of this, don't you?
We do, and this is the challenge: is somebody saying, say you don't smoke, somebody saying falsify your income, and only one of the two got fired.
Which is fraud, by the way. Which fraud.
Of course, it's criminal
as an
fraud.
aside,
but criminal fraud by people acting on behalf of the government doesn't necessarily lose a job. That's the absurdity.
Well, usually, if you commit a fraud, usually you're investigating as a criminal prosecution for fraud. I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. What does Secretary Sebelius, you've written her this letter, you want to meet with her. Do you think she's actually going to sit down with you and answer those questions?
Well, to my amazement, on Monday I found out that she wanted to meet with me, but of course we'd never had the request. So I flew back here and said absolutely, and we conveyed in that letter that I'd be happy to sit down with her tomorrow and discuss the state of security, the documents we now have, and the release of some, but not all of that information.
What time did this letter go over to her today?
Midday.
All right, so noonish?
Yes, they told us.
It's 7:30. I mean, we have phones, we have Blackberries. This is a small town. It's 6 blocks away. I mean, why can't you get an answer? Why can't you pick up the phone? If she wants to meet with you, why can't you pick up the phone? The two of you just pick a time tomorrow and do it.
I look forward to the meeting. I'm waiting for it. The fact is, they verified she's in town. I don't know what's on her schedule, but I'm free morning, noon,
well,
and night.
Well, she's not working on the website. I mean, that's not her job. I mean,
no, she doesn't have too many answers on that, apparently.
No, but I mean, she can find a half an hour to meet with you and figure this out. I mean, at least straighten this out and figure out what's going on.
This is the most important thing right now for my committee. We have a lot of investigations, but the privacy of the American people is paramount, and this is one where the jury is not just out, but the information continues to come in telling us that we're not secure.
Congressman, nice to see you, and do tell us if you have a meeting tomorrow with the Secretary.
I will, Greta.
Thank you very much. And developing now, suspicion the knockout game is spreading. There are 4 new attacks reported. That's next.